Hello, I'm David Hyatt, and this is AutoFocus, where we talk to some of the people making news in the automotive industry. Our guest today is Jonathan Banks, Executive Automotive Analyst with the NADA Used Car Guide. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thanks, David.
You've been busy a bit the last couple of days. CBS Radio news interviews, ABC News, New York Times, and so forth and so on. Why the high media interest right now in the used car market?
Well, used car prices continued to go up, and they reached an all-time high. We put a message out there that that the used car market continues to be strong, and the press wanted to get that message out to consumers.
Why is the used car market so strong?
Well, it's still a matter of just supply and demand. Supply was very tight for used cars, driven from the lower new car sales from a few years back. And demand has been strong because the overall economic conditions are getting better. Used cars continue to be a good bargain because of better quality vehicles. And then the disruption in Japan for new vehicle inventory has driven dealers to the used car market to supplant the inventory lost on the new car side.
How are these market conditions affecting you and what you do on a day-to-day basis in terms of the used car guide and the values?
Well, at NADA Used Car Guide, we made one of the most dramatic value changes that we've done in really probably in history, where we decided to put our values up really above even where the market is today, in anticipation of used car values really reaching their peak in June, because the inventory issue is going to be even tighter. So what you'll find is NADA values will be really close to the market, which really enables dealers to actually get the financing that they need for those used vehicles that they've been paying so much more for in the wholesale market.
Well, let's talk about the dealers for a second. What are the dealers doing to respond to the market conditions?
Well, they're scrambling for inventory, and luckily there's a lot of tools out there to find the inventory, so they're using online tools. They're really broadening their scope of how far out from their dealership they're looking, so they're increasing the footprint, so to speak, of how far out they're looking. But they're also getting really aggressive with the customers, and they need to let the customer know that the consumer has a really valuable asset sitting in the driveway. Prices on used cars are up about 30% year over year, so quite a dramatic increase. If you think about it, a small compact car last year was worth about $9,000. This year it's worth about $12,000. So dealers are reaching out to customers and saying, come in, bring in your trade-in car, which they need, and come into a used car, and basically that down payment is already in their vehicle, and then a consumer doesn't really have to spend anything out of their pocket.
I don't recall another time quite like this. Is it safe to say it's a historically good time to sell your used car?
To me, absolutely. Because of the recession and what happened to the automotive industry, it just created really a tighter used environment, and people had been holding onto their cars a lot longer, so the age of the vehicle fleet was getting older, which caused pent-up demand, and right when economic conditions improved, all these consumers came out to buy vehicles in a tight supply market.
What do you see happening over the next few months?
Well, inventory we know for sure is going to be tighter in June and July, just because that's when the production disruptions from Japan really hit our market, because there was about a 30 to 60 day lag for that inventory, and then the consequent production shutdowns for most of the Japanese manufacturers. So June and July will be strong, and then remember, we're coming into the holiday selling season, which historically this is a great time for our industry on both the new and used car market. So demand should be strong, and supply will continue to be tight. We don't expect prices to continue the rapid acceleration that we saw before, because they've hit an all-time high. They can't really get much higher. However, prices will probably stay high through the summer.
Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, David.